Frehley guitar! Yeah, I'm going to talk about Ace Frehley today. My favorite, it's between him and Eddie Van Halen as to who is my favorite guitarist ever. For today, I'll say Ace Frehley. When I talk about Van Halen, I'll say Eddie Van Halen. But before I get to Ace Frehley, speaking of Van Halen, I'll talk about something a little bit quickly, I hope quickly. I talked about Diver Down the other day, and before that, Fair Warning, and the first Van Halen album, and there's something else too that I've talked about recently that didn't have the correct track listing. The track listing on the back of the jacket was different than the actual track listing on the record. And I mentioned that always bugged me, and I always wondered why it was. I thought maybe it was just aesthetics, that maybe, you know, longer song titles, shorter song titles, they just look better in a certain order rather than, you know, in the order that they were played on the record or that they were placed on the record. So I asked my friend Chris, this is Chris McClerney, he was in Saigon Kick. I asked him, why is that? And he said it could be a couple of things. He said, yes, one, it could be aesthetics, could be for aesthetics. He said, two, it could be the art department. I guess especially with bands, you would think Van Halen would be big enough to avoid this, but he said the art department of the record company, they just do what they want. The band has no control, and the art department just puts it out like that, which maybe also goes with the aesthetics reasons. And what was the other thing he said? He said sometimes just the artwork is finalized before the track sequence, or maybe the track sequence changes, but he said those are at least three possibilities. And he told me that he always hated Water, the Saigon Kick album. Arguably my favorite Saigon Kick album, although I think I like Devil in the Details this much more. He said he never liked the way that, I don't know if he was talking about the way the track listing looked, but he never liked the way that the artwork was laid out for Water, 1993 Saigon Kick. So I'm going to talk today about Ace Frehley's 1978. You could call it a solo album, or you could call it a Kiss album. I'm not sure. I think it is a Kiss album. It does have the Kiss logo, and you know, at that point, Kiss, they were using, you know, extra guys and everything. So even their studio albums were not real Kiss albums. But now, a little story about this, because there's always got to be a story about everything, in my life anyway. I've become obsessed. I swore I would never be like this. I've become obsessed with records, especially Kiss records. I'm trying to fill in the gaps for some that I'm missing. Some I can find them, but they're too expensive, and some they're just not available, at least where I've been looking, which is really just Amazon. And so I check really every day for Kiss vinyl. And I've found some, and other bands too, some of these other ones that I've talked about recently, Van Halen, and I did Back in Black earlier this week. And I've been really lucky a few times. I've found something, but I think, no, it's too expensive. And then I check the next day, or 2 days later, a week later, and the prices come down, sometimes significantly. I recently bought a lot of 6, a batch of 6, and because all 6 of them, I was checking them every day, and you know, they were too expensive, so I thought instead of checking them individually every day, these are by a bunch of different bands, I thought I'll just put them in my cart, and then every day I can just check my cart, see if the price changes. And the reason I bought those 6 was because magically, all of a sudden, and I don't know if this is related to putting it in the cart, like 2 days after I put them in the cart, the price of all 6 of them dropped from 13%, was the smallest decrease, 13%, up to 28%. So I bought all 6 of them like that. But anyway, the Ace Frehley album, or all of the Kiss solo albums, and there's 2 things about this. I've seen the Kiss solo albums on Amazon, but only the picture discs, which, I mean, they're okay, and you can get them either individually or as a bundle of 4, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I've never seen the actual real records, the reissues from I can never remember the year, if it was 2012 or 2014. I think it was 2014. Yeah, 2014. I've never seen the records with the full cover, only the picture disc with the cover cut out and the actual picture disc behind the plastic. And then out of nowhere, 2 days ago, I saw Ace's album, AC Baby, as I like to call him. I saw his album on Amazon for a very, at least in my world, reasonable price. And records are expensive here in Mexico, but considerably lower than what I consider my maximum, which is not too expensive. I don't want to go crazy. And I thought, wow, that's unbelievable. For one, I never found it before, and now I found it, and at a decent price, at a fair price. So I ordered it right away. That was 2 days ago, and it just came a couple of hours ago today. Now, no, there's one more thing about Ace, but first I'll go forward to the Kiss albums, the bundle. This bundle that I saw, the 4 Kiss picture discs, and it came out, I think, also in 2014. But apparently my friend Dwayne, who's the Kiss expert when it comes to matters like this, he said there's no poster in them, which, I really want the posters, even though I'm not, I'm not going to hang them on my wall like I did when I was 8 or 9 years old. I still want them. I want them complete. But he said those picture discs didn't have the pictures. They didn't have the album cover. The actual record was the cover through the plastic, as I mentioned a minute ago. And now individually they were very expensive. They were all different prices. Even the cheapest one was for sure more than I would be willing to pay for a record. And then the 4 of them, if you got them as a bundle, was it would have been cheaper to buy them as a bundle as a per record price. It would have been cheaper than buying them individually, but still it would have worked out to, if you divide it by the price by the 4 records, still would have worked out to an average of more than I was willing to pay. And then again, miraculously, one day I checked maybe a week ago, and they were a lot cheaper, like I think around $35, $40 US cheaper for the bundle, which maybe that doesn't sound like a lot to you, Mr. Rockefeller, but it's a lot to me. So, close to $10 US each, cheaper for each if you got them in the bundle. I thought, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to buy those. I'll put them in my cart. But I had and was in the process of ordering other records, and I've talked about this before, and I'll get to Ace Frehley. The problem living in Mexico, one of the problems about living in Mexico, is if you get too much stuff at the same time, if the value is too much, they charge you. Amazon charges extra for customs, and it can add 20%, 20% to the cost of the records. So, but if you order them individually, you don't have to pay it. So every day I had like 3 or 4 things in my cart. So I ordered one day, and then it was shipped the next day. So when it was shipped, I would order the next one. When it was shipped, I would order the next one to avoid paying the customs or the duty. And then when I saw AC Baby's album the other day for this fair price, I thought, shit, what should I do? Because I'm gonna order the bundle. Like it was going to be the next day or that day. I think the next day I was going to order the bundle. Depends where you get it from too. Ace's album that I got today came from Amazon Mexico. I ordered all these from Amazon Mexico, but a lot of them are shipped from the US. This album, the Ace album that came today, was shipped from Mexico. That's why it came in less than 2 days. So I thought, what should I do? I would like to, if they had all the original reissues from 2014, I would like to get those with the poster and the proper album covers. But what if I can only find Ace? I can't find the others. I feel odd. I feel queer having only the 1 out of 4. So I thought, what should I do? Should I order the 4 of them and then I'll have 2 of Ace's or whatever? So I waited, and then the next day, the price got jacked up by a lot. Again, close to $35 or $40. So there's no way I was going to pay that. Maybe the price of that bundle of the 4 picture disc soul albums will come down, but for now, too expensive. So I'm not. I was going to say I'm stuck with. I'm not stuck with Aces. I'm very happy to have it, believe me. But I only have Aces, and I have Peter's. I bought Peter's horrible album 6 or 8 months ago at El Chopo. No poster. And it was used and everything, but whatever. So my mission is now to get, if I end up getting my mission is Jeans and Paul's, Peter's, I guess, would be just for the poster if I can get it for a fair price. If I get all those, and then I have no reason to get the picture discs. If the price of the picture discs comes down again, I will get those. Then I'll have 2 Peter, 2 Aces, plus the picture discs, whatever. Is that everything? I think that's all. No, now there's one more thing now about this Ace album. After I ordered it, I think it was yesterday. I ordered it 2 days ago, and yesterday I looked at it, and maybe I should do this before. I looked at the details of it, and it said product of origin, Germany. Now, the picture of this album on Amazon, it had the regular Kiss logo. It had, you know, the good classic Kiss logo that I love so much. It had that. But the description said it was from Germany. I thought, well, all the German pressings had that shitty Kiss logo. You know, the one that's like a zigzag Z, more like an S, or Z, as we say in Canada. And I thought, man, I don't want that in my house. I don't want that Kiss logo in my house. So I'm going to open this now. I'm hoping that it's not the German logo. Amazon has made some of these mistakes before. There's another one that I ordered today or last night that I had a similar problem with, that I'll have to wait and see. Another problem I was with Creatures of the Night when I bought that. I can't remember what the problem was, but I've had a couple of these. So I think and I hope this is going to be the good logo. If it's not, this is going right back from whence it came. All right. So, oh, and look at this. I also have this as a little prop. Look at this cool thing I have. Isn't that nice? Cool. So I'm going to open this now, and if all goes according to plan, which I hope it does, this is going to be the great Kiss logo on the 1978 Ace Frehley Kiss solo album, and then I will talk about it track by track, and it's a good one. Any predictions? This is your last chance to make predictions. I'm confident that this was a mistake on Amazon's website. I think it is going to be the proper Kiss logo, and here we go. And it is. I'm very happy. There we go. That avoids a new subplot. Mike Pratt is probably very disappointed. This is not the German logo, because then I would have had to send it back and cry and complain about it. Oh my God! I should go back to my initial reaction of holy shit. These, Kiss album covers are amongst the best ever. They always had, until, at some point their album covers started sucking. I've never considered this as an album cover. I always considered Rock and Roll Over or Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Destroyer, those are the good ones. But in recent years, I've realized that if you put the 4 of these together, Ace, Peter, Gene, and Paul together, and form one album cover, like I guess what the inside dust sleeve is dust jacket is going to look like, that might be my favorite Kiss album cover ever. I just, thinking back when I was 8 or 9 years old when I had these 4 records, they just look so good. They're so uniform. They had the halo or whatever you call this, the silhouette color. Man, I love this album cover. And have you ever noticed, and I remember noticing this even when I was a kid, his left eye, Ace's left eye in the painting, is noticeably lower than his right eye. Yeah, it looks kind of cockeyed. And I always thought they look so realistic. They're paintings, but they're so realistic, especially the eyes and the makeup are just fantastic. I could stare at this all day. I've spent many days staring at this, mostly when I was much younger Dan Bowski than I am now. And it's got the little hype sticker. Kind of disappointing that they're all the same. All the Kiss 2014 reissues, including Revenge, which came out in 1992, says that it's the first vinyl pressing since 1985. It would have been nice, and it's the most minor thing you could think of, but it would be nice to have an individual hype sticker for each album. Credits on the back. I don't know if I showed the back, but there it is. Now remember the inside. I'm very excited to see this in a few seconds, or maybe longer. The inside had, as I said, the 4 faces of them and the poster. Each one came with the poster of the corresponding guy from the band, which I think I'm gonna get to right now. No, before I open it up, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. This is widely considered to be the best of the 4 solo albums. I think if you asked real Kiss fans, and by real Kiss fans, I don't mean this as an elite thing, but by people who really know Kiss and have an opinion on all eras and all aspects of Kiss, if you asked whatever, 1,000 people, 100 people to rank them in order, the 4 solo albums, Ace would come out on top. Obviously, everybody has their own favorite. Some people, I personally, for me, Ace is a very, very close number 2, close to number 1. I'll talk about that in a second. I don't think anybody, honestly, would pick Peter Criss's album as their number 1 choice. In all my years, in all my decades of Kiss fandom, I don't think I've ever seen anybody say that Peter Criss's album is their favorite. There's no way. My favorite is Jeans. Now, when I was a kid, when I had these records when I was a kid, I think I was pretty close, and even now I'm still pretty close. In more recent years, I think the Kiss Unplugged album from 1995, that maybe put Jeans over the top. You know, that acoustic version of See You Tonight. I was always, you know, whenever I listened to Aces, I thought that was the best. When I listened to Gene's, I thought his was the best. But it seems that Gene has pulled ahead consistently, though very slightly. Aces is very, very close. I love this. This is a real classic hard rock record. Maybe, I think Paul's is maybe the closest to Kiss, or how Kiss would be shortly after. Aces is maybe the closest to how Kiss was at the time. Gene's is, and as much as I love Gene's, it's my favorite, it is a little bit wonky, and forget about Peter's. So that's it. Now I'm going to open up. Now I'm expecting that this is going to have, now this is tough to cut. It has no opening, so I'll do this. I fully expect this to have the poster inside, and I would love to have all 4 posters at some point, even Peter Criss's, which would mean buying his album again, which I would suffer through. I would do that just to get that poster and just have it complete. And it looks even better out of the cellophane, you know, without the cellophane giving reflection. Ooh, feast, baby, feast. Look at that. And it does feel a little bit thick. The poster is in here. Now, before I get the poster, I'll take out the... Oh, this is a surprise. This is a surprise. Now, I'm surprised that it doesn't have the... this is kind of stuck. It's bending the record. There we go. I'm very, very surprised. This was my biggest nightmare when records used to come in this cellophane. I hated that. The original records came, as I mentioned earlier, with the 4 faces on both sides. So it's a minor thing. And here's the record. Now it does have Ace's face, well, the cover of the album, on the label. When I had the original ones in the 70s, they didn't have it. I don't know if that was a Canadian thing, if it was some countries had it, some didn't. I could be misremembering, as Roger Clemens said, but I don't, to me they look, I mean, I like it, but it's a little bit awkward. It kind of blocks the cool Casablanca logo. But anyway, I do love the desert color of the Casablanca logo. Now, I will, whoops, let me get that back in. Now, where did it go? Oh, here it is, all right. Oh, I'm going to open the poster. I haven't seen these, ooh, maybe since the 80s, maybe 90s. I hope it's Ace Frehley. Maybe they put the wrong one in. It is Ace. Oh my God. Oh. I melt at the sight of anything old Kiss related, 70s Kiss related. Look at this. I had these on my wall when I was a kid. Now, a peculiar thing about that one, it's got the Rock Steady logo down there, Casablanca down here. Now, I was talking to my friend Dwayne. This is the third time I've mentioned Dwayne in this video, a few weeks ago. I swear, and again, I could be misremembering, when I had these posters when I was a kid, now you can see they have these notches here. These are like interlocking notches. The four of them, if you get the four of them, you put them together like one big one, you know, like a puzzle. I swear mine when I was a kid did not have the notches. And I mentioned that to Dwayne a couple of weeks ago, and he said he had, not that he was questioning me, but he said he had never heard of any versions from any country not having the notches, but mine just had straight edges all along. I don't really care one way or the other. I'm not going to put them together. But I don't know if I know there's only like 50, maybe 80 people that watch this. But if any, I would like to know if anybody from Canada remembers like I do not having the notches in them. All right, let me put that away gently. All right, so now I can remember this one easily. It's Rip It Out, Speeding Back to My Baby, Snowblind, Ozone, What's on Your Mind on the first side. Second side is New York Groove, I'm in Need of Love, Wiped Out, and Fractured Mirror. I don't need this, but I'll hold it anyway, at least for now. So Rip It Out opens it. What a hard rockin' track is that? That's Kiss. That's firepower right there. Now I know you've been cheating and lying all the time. I didn't know you were going to be so unkind. I've been trying just to find out how we went wrong, but I know that I can't trust you, girl, anymore. Da, 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 da. Rip it out. I'm not going to sing it. Oh man, I feel like just shouting it out. Rip It Out. What an amazing song. When I first heard that song when I was 8 years old, I loved it from the very first time. It's a driving, powerful, not a heavy song, but just a real great hard rock song with that little drum break in the middle. Anton Fig played drums on this record, which was, I was a huge David Letterman fan. I've got a David Letterman book down here that I got like in 1985 or 86. And Anton Fig and Will Lee, who played bass. Anton played drums on this album, and Will Lee played bass. I think Anton played on all the tracks. Will Lee played on maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, Will played bass on Ozone, Wiped Out, and I'm in Need of Love. Anton played drums on all of them. And then this was great when I started watching Letterman and saw that these guys were Will Lee and Anton Fig. I thought, hey, those are the guys from Ace Frehley's solo album. So that was a cool connection for me. But Rip It Out is just a fantastic, stellar, killer, outstanding, phenomenal, excellent, amazing song. Speeding Back to My Baby, and I don't mean maybe. I love that. This is another great rockin' song. Up-tempo, fast rocker. I'm driving down the road doing 95 miles an hour. Oh yeah. I'm feeling kind of down because I left her with a frown, my baby. Oh yeah. We always seem to fight when things are going right, and maybe, maybe I should turn around. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should turn around. Speeding back, and that. No, I think going into the first verse, it had that drum fill. Love that, and the great solo. It sounds kind of like a reverse feedback coming into the solo. Amazing song, Speeding Back to My Baby. Next is. Is Was that Snowblind? Did I get that right? Yeah, Snowblind. Or was I singing Ozone? Oh no, Ozone is no, that was it. What is Snowblind? Oh my God, how embarrassing this is. I'm snowblind, I don't wanna sing. I'm snowblind, I can't feel a thing. I'm snowblind, need a familiar face. I'm snowblind, think I'm lost in space. Dun, 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 dun. Did I screw that up? I can't remember how Snowblind starts. Ozone is dun, 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 dun. What is Snowblind? Oh my God, what an embarrassment. Anyway, let's do both those songs at the same time. They're both amazing. Ozone was covered by Foo Fighters from their first album. They had a song called Big Me, and there was a CD single of it. And on the B side of it, they called them B-sides, even though there's no B-sides on a CD, was Foo Fighters or Dave Grohl's cover of Ozone. And this was in 95 or 96, I just kind of befriended Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys, and later Broken Teeth, and from before Watchtower, and later Evil United, and Igniter, Godzilla Motor Company, and we used to trade things back and forth. And I had sent him. He didn't know about, or he hadn't heard. This was before the internet, of course. Foo Fighters cover of Ozone, and so I sent that to him. He taped it. He sent it back to me. He sent me some other stuff. So we used to send those things back and forth. God, I'm still. That's Ozone. How does Snowblind start? Snowblind is. It's so hard to feel right, baby. And who did a cover of that? Did Nashville Pussy? No, I think they also did. Yeah, they did Snowblind. Yeah, Nashville Pussy covered Snowblind. So a couple of good covers that resulted from this album. And the last song on side one, What's on Your Mind, that's a little bit, I love every song. And you know, I can't even really pick a favorite on this album because I like them all. This is similar to, what other one did I think it was Back in Black. I couldn't pick a favorite. There wasn't one that stands out, which maybe sounds bad, but it's because they're all great. But I can't pick a favorite. But What's in Your Mind is a little bit more dun 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 dun, a little bit not poppier, a little bit more melodic, not as hard driving rock as the let's say the first four. What's on your mind? Dun, 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 dun. What's on your mind? Tell me. Great song, love them all. Side two, New York Groove is the first song. Now that one, loved it as a kid, and I don't dislike it, but I am very tired of it. And that one really stands out on this album, not because it's so good or so bad, but because it's so different. Disregarding the fact that it's a cover, it's just it has a different vibe, a different feel than the rest of the album. The the intro, I don't know what that is. If it's I'm not sure. In the back of my Cadillac. I feel bad now. I love New York Groove. I'm just tired of it. And next was, I'm in Need of Love. Yeah, I'm in Need of Love. The thing I remember most about this one is, Anthrax had these things, I guess during breakdowns or before solos or in bridge or something, that they called mosh parts. Like the middle part of Indians, the war dance part, and yeah, they called them mosh parts. Now, to me, this song in 1978, long before Anthrax was around, had kind of a mosh part as it goes into the solo. I'm in need of love, and I'm hoping you're in need of me, and then the solo. And I love not just the solo, the actual guitar solo, but the instrumentation around it, which to me sounds like a mosh part. It's kind of like a double time. And the solo is and maybe that first part is not part of the solo, but the music that during that part is just fucking awesome. That's I'm in Need of Love. Next is Wiped Out. I think when I was a kid, maybe this one was my favorite. I had no idea what the lyrics were because he sings kind of fast, and there's just, I guess the way he sings it, it's, I went to a party, dressed so smartly, cool as cool could be, knew I could make it, knew I could shake it, loose and fancy free, so I went to the table, went to the table, something, reached for, poured me a glass of wine, took a few sips and looked around, I was feeling fine, an hour long, coming on strong, I was getting drunk, next thing you know, I looked at you, I was black as a skunk. And then it gets good, as if that wasn't good enough. The the solo, not the solo part, the part going into the chorus, and it totally changes. The tone of the song changes. It's kind of a fun, wiped out song. And then when it goes into the chorus, I was, it's a little bit darker, maybe even a little bit heavier. I was wiped out. I had my lights out. Was falling right out because I was wiped out. Amazing song. Still, and again, I don't know if I could pick that as a favorite, but Wiped Out is just fantastic. That's Ace Frehley, and he was never as good as this album. And then the last song is Fractured Mirror, an instrumental, and similar to Lost for Words, Big Aura on Power Slave, Iron Maiden. Instrumentals, they're not my favorite. This one is so good, and Lost for Words on Power Slave is so good. It doesn't even bring it down that much, zero. This, I would even say, I always cite Coast to Coast by Scorpions as my favorite instrumental. I think sometimes I forget that it could be this. Fractured Mirror is just amazing. I love the how it starts quiet and builds up, and the acoustic guitar and the chords hitting, and there's I don't know if it's not a gong, but like something in the wood block. Amazing. And Dimebag did a cover of Fractured Mirror there was an Ace Frehley tribute album, I think it was called Spacewalk, in 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. And Dimebag did Fractured Mirror to great critical acclaim, at least in my book. I loved Dimebag's cover of Fractured Mirror. So there it is. This album rose. I would even put this, when I did my KISS rankings last year, I think I had this around number, I can't remember. I think I would put this at like number, maybe 6 or 7 now. I think I would put this even above the debut album. I think at the time, maybe I had it below Lick It Up, just because I thought, well, it's a KISS album. I got to put it above a solo album. But I think this, if I could revisit that list, I would put Ace Frehley's album higher, one notch below Gene's album. So that's the first of hopefully 4 of these KISS albums I'm going to do. And I love it. I had a great time talking about this. See ya.